Greetings out there in Randoland. Welcome. We have a Fad Keys League Race Week 2 between Eudaimonistic of Team Elf and deritypeels of Team Zelda and Chill. I am joined by Phyleon, also of Team...
Hylian.
Phyleon, nice, also of Team Elf. How you doing today, Phyleon?
You know, I just realized that I'm commentating on Friday night, which means it's just after that Daniel Craig tweet went up. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's the weekend. Let's get hyped for some Zelda.
Yeah, we can wake up now. September is over. It's all good. So we are going to be playing a Fad Keys race. Fad Keys stands for Foe All Dungeons, and Key Sanity, so we're going to have to complete all the dungeons, including Aghanim's Tower. The difference between All Dungeons Key Sanity and Fad Keys is that the Castle Tower keys are going to be in their vanilla locations. Thus, we don't have to run all around Hyrule looking for two ice rods, effectively.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite. We get to still look around for the ice rod and the Meyer medallion when Meyer's a pendant, and the Meyer big key when Meyer's a pendant, and the you know what? This week's almost over. This week's almost over.
This week is... We still have plenty of opportunities for the game to throw us several curveballs, and we'll see how well these runners can handle the curveballs today. Inevitably, there's going to be something in some kind of place. But in any case, the runners are off. We are starting at Link's house for the red meringue.
Hey, that's good. Udai is probably snickering to himself right now that he pulled the red meringue, and I'm grumbling about all the lag that's we're gonna see on screen. So, you know, yay. I like the thing Darity's doing with the sign to get that first tree pull, even if it's only in fact 4 small magics.
Mm-hmm. The other nice thing about the red meringue is that you're going to be able to stun enemies early. So we saw Udai do this in order to check what the stun prize is. In this case, we know it's hearts, which isn't useful now, but could be useful in a pinch if we end up having some problems in dungeons. And we see the fire rod from Link's uncle.
Whoa. Wait, is Udai just gonna go with that? Like into escape?
Yeah, Udai.
No, he's doing the tree pull. Okay, now he's got the magic.
Yep, got the magic. We're going to escape and beat those guards.
I mean, you got 6 fire rod shots. You only have 3 enemies you have to kill. So what? Yeah, 3 before the pots. So why not do it?
Yep.
Hey, what did Darity pull in Sank?
Darity just found a potion of red goo in Sanctuary, which will be nice because you're going right to Kakariko anyway, and you'll be able to check Sick Kid on the road.
I love it when you say it that way. Potion of red goo just sounds like a D&D item. And now I wonder why my DM never gives me any of those.
So, Udai is about to check this chest, which is currently one of 2 that is in logic for Hyrule Castle. The other one being that we have the Fire Rod is in Dark Cross Room. All the rest of this stuff that Udai is about to get is locked behind the Hyrule Castle small key.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, Darity checking Lumberjack for us. Obviously, it's just a compass. What kind of compass? Don't know. Don't care. Get it away from us.
Compass percent is officially ruined.
Good. Hey, did Darity actually manage to check the hoarder crabs at any point? I saw him run by this one in the forest.
I think that Darity checked the one going to Aga Ledge, but I'm not sure what it was.
Okay. Meanwhile, he picks up a pod key, and Udai picking up a desert key. So Udai's castle dip not really giving him anything just yet, but of course nothing immediately useful just yet, but having that effect of he's not going to have to do it later.
Yeah, and we'll see. We could end up with an early book and needing to go into Desert Palace early. All it takes now is... Well, it could potentially take several things in order to fully clear Desert, but one step closer on the way there.
Yeah, and that fire source does have me wondering just a little bit. Sadly, neither runner going to have bombs when they get to the village here. So it looks like, ooh, I mean, Darity's gets that pod key out of the tavern. Gets the sick kid check, and that cape,
Magic
that
cape
cape,
kid.
that does not give us bombs. That does not give us money for bombs.
Gives us a little bit closer to Aga.
So what's Darity off to?
Darity is going to check the library as well as a race game early. I guess we'll see if race game's required, but without bombs, Darity can't actually get the item now. Library was just arrows, so that is not. Meanwhile, Udai is going to get the information about Compass on Aga Ledge, and I once again missed what the Hoarder Crab had.
It wasn't very important. I forgot about it already. The important thing that Udai just picked up was bombs from the second tier tree pull. So because he went through escape, killed all those enemies, doing that tree pull has given him 4 bombs, which is going to make clearing the village on the first trick very straightforward.
Yeah, that's a nice advantage. That's a nice advantage for Udai because we see Darity here grinding off the bushes outside of the woods. There are 4 bushes that have a 50-50 chance of a bomb spawning, and that's what Darity is going to use in order to have bombs for Kakariko and the rest. We also have not yet seen race game on Darity's side.
My sympathies go out to Darity. So it is in fact a 1 in 2 chance, or 50-50 chance. He has won 3 of 14 draws there. That's a lot of bushes to pull up.
That's pretty rough.
That's rough. Oh, that's worse luck than I have on those.
3 of 14. That's a high-looking percent, anyway.
So it's just another bottle on the race game. Not something you're going to go for, especially when you're as tight on bombs as Darity is.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have just enough to clear the village right here. Udai, the first, though, into Blind's basement, is going to see a book.
There's our early book.
All right. A second bottle. A piece of heart. And a piece of heart.
Darity finds the Ether medallion, and Udai finds a sword, so definitely glad that Darity got the bombs and will be able to check blind and not miss that early on. Now we're going to see both runners approach the well. Darity will be slightly ahead of Udai.
Mm-hmm. What does she find in here? We've got a small key to Ganon's tower. Oh, wait, you didn't make it first. Why am I so confused?
Small key to GT, map of pod, 50 rupees, which is almost, but not quite enough for Bottle Merchant now. Map of Swamp, and a Compass of Mire. Not very important stuff in the well. Udai does have enough money for Bottle Merchant, though. Darity will most likely get enough after blinds, but decides to drop down the well again just to get those 10 rupees guaranteed.
Wait, has Darity just not been into Blind's Hut?
No, not yet.
Oh, that's... Okay. I was like, why is she doing this? Why is she going back? But I get it, because now, she can save and quit after Blind's Hut. This is good, because it's a long way to walk out. You have a full screen transition and then a stair after you do the back area, and now she just gets to save and quit, walk away. Brilliant. So we do have a cape and a sword, which would be a big thing in normal key sanity, because it would have me side-eyeing those 2 chests in the front. That first chest in the front of Aga Tower. Of course, with fad keys, we know that's not an issue, so...
Yep. Probably gonna wait until we find the lamp before doing Aga Tower.
Yeah, lamp and a moon pearl for sure. And then might even see the runners. I was gonna say wait till they get a better sword to make it go faster, but we have a fire rod. This gets very fast if you have a fire rod.
Okay, we're seeing a key on Lake Hylia Island, and Darity stopping in to use those 50 rupees almost exactly on bombs. Udai does still
Yeah.
have one bomb left to be able to get into Mini Moldorm Cave. But Udai is also going to scout that key. Doesn't have enough rupees at this point to be able to purchase more bombs, though. So Udai might go and do Saha as well as Darity, using that one bomb.
Eudaimonistic just needs more bombs somewhere, and then he'll be set for a long time. But Darity with the purchase is going to be fine.
Green Pendant is Misery Mire.
I warned you about this, chat. I warned you about this in the intro.
Alright, so Mire Medallion could potentially be very relevant. Shovel and a Moon Pearl. One of those things is potentially relevant. One of those things is definitely relevant. And the other thing is 20 rupees.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like both of them are going to go on to dip Eastern Palace.
Yeah, why not? It's key sanity. I've seen people get burned this week by dipping it early, and then their opponent gets to go back and full clear it in one go 10 minutes later. I've seen people get burned because they put it off, and oh look, the progression was there. I don't know. It's key sanity. Flip a damn coin.
It's 4 items, 3 of which are in logic right now, and maybe you'll find something useful. Chances are you'll need a bow and a big key to complete the dungeon anyway, so you never know when both of those things are going to turn up. I do find it interesting, though, that both of them have decided to dip Eastern even before doing the South Shore checks.
Yeah, so on the one hand, sometimes you see people say, okay, I'm going to put off South Shore just a bit in case I end up with Zora money first. Yeah. And then I look at this and I go, no, neither of you even has 100 rupees. You're not going to luck into Zora money.
That
even
is
with
true.
That 50 Darity just pulled. Like
it would take both of these next chests being 300 rupees.
Yeah. There's you've got the rest of Eastern and also South Shore, and like maybe you get to Zora money, but I'm certainly not counting on it at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm also very curious when Udai is going to decide to dip Desert Palace, since we have that book already, but Udai has the big key early from Hyrule Castle. That does give Udai a little bit more completion when Udai gets there. But Darity is going to peace out and not try to check the vanilla big key chest in the dark.
So, legitimately, that's a fairly hard check to do with 3 hearts, just because the damage boost kind of relies on you having a full 3 hearts, and most people doing that dark room get a hit in somewhere. Udai is going to go for it. You have a sword, so you can kill the enemies the slow way if you really need to.
Mm-hmm. Just gotta be careful, because if you take too long, then those anti-fairies can catch up to you, and they can really give things a bad time. The other thing that might be on Udai's mind, though, is we know that the stun prize is hearts, so if we're able to stun enemies before killing them, then that's one potential way we can refill. And we can also beat the enemies in the vanilla big key room the way that the game intended, by actually beating them.
Yeah, the hearts are a good point.
Okay. Unfortunately, I jinxed it, and Udai did take a death here because the anti-fairies caught up to him.
Alright. So, that's not how we do that room. That's not, as a team elf statement, that is not how we do that room. Sometimes it happens, but... Looks like he's going to have to buy bombs now. Which, fair enough. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, doing Eastern Palace did give Udai an opportunity to get a bit more money, so making this extra 10 bomb purchase is a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we see the Master Sword and a Palace of Darkness key from Mini Moldorm Cave.
That's 3. That's 3! What does it mean when we have 3 pod small keys?
What does it mean?
It means we have half of all the available keys. It means we have more than 2. It means that the back half of the dungeon is in logic, and that one's actually more serious and less facetious. Because 3 is the point when a lot of runners go, maybe I should just go there. Maybe I should just dip my head and see how much I can get. 3 is enough.
I thought it takes 4 to put those checks back in logic, though.
Maybe it's 4. It's 4. Gosh, I've been wrong about that all week. It's definitely 4. Right, so 3 in the one you find in the dungeon.
Yeah. We're gonna find one in the dungeon regardless.
But with 3, you can also, open the front door, get to the back, hammer yump, and still have that key left over for being the boss if it comes to it. So.
In the meantime, Darity finds the blue male from Ice Rod Cave turning Rocco purple, and this is the play that I was looking forward to. Udai going to check Desert Palace. We'll see if that big key, and the big key is out of logic. We'll see if that ends up leading to something important.
Yeah, that big key was down in the boomerang chest?
Yes.
So it is locked logically behind the
Hyrule Castle
key. Which is who knows where.
And there's the lamp, which puts Aghanim in logic. And also puts that one room that neither runner was able to check in Eastern Palace in logic. What do we know?
I don't know. I mean, do you just do Aga at this point because it's all dungeons? Like, you're gonna have to do it. You can beat it. It might be your Dark World access. You got 3 pod small keys.
Yeah, I think so, and Darity is heading that way, but Darity hasn't checked the Hyrule Castle basement stuff yet, so Darity will be able to go there, take a Death Warp, go check Dark Cross Room, take a Death Warp, and then go and complete Aghanim, and then have the Dark World as Darity's oyster.
Yeah. Yeah, she can do that. I just had this idea cross my mind of like, do you bother save scumming a key here? But no, because you're clearing Aga Tower anyways. You're gonna do it. You probably don't have a glove at the back of Escape. Probably.
An alternative play is to skip the chest in Zelda's cell and take the small key that you win from the guard in the boomerang chest room.
Yeah.
To go clear the back out of logic.
Which is a bit of an awkward way to do it, but when your your desert big key is right here, like Darity just found. Okay.
Unfortunately, the big chest in desert only ends up being 20 rupees.
Yeah. So aside from it's crossed off and done, Udai's not getting anything great there.
Just 10 arrows in Zelda's cell, and Darity going to take a Death Warp from this guard. Udai happy to get this full heart container there.
Yeah, that'll come in handy for him.
Alright, Udai,
I need you to go to south. I need you to go south right now. No.
Nope, Udai's gonna dig up that lamp.
I mean, maybe he still just goes south after the lamp. I'm just worried that he'll take the lamp and go, Aga's in logic. Maybe I should just do Aga. Although, did he pick up that cape? No, because the cape is on the cape is over in Mini Moldorm as well, right?
Yep.
So, okay, he'll be fine. He's not going to accidentally do Fighter Sword Aga Tower. Sorry, I looked away. What did Darity pull from Dark Cross?
Oh, I looked away too because I was trying to remember. It's actually not the cape here in Mini Moldrum Cave had the Master Sword and a pod key. The cape was on Sick Kid, which
so he's picked it up
Udai
already.
has not.
Hasn't he?
I don't see it tracked.
Did he
Yep,
just...
yep, Udai has it. Udai has it. Okay,
Okay.
We're okay there.
Like, he's not skipping Sick Kid, is he? Who does that?
And Udai is also going to check Ice Rod Cave, it looks like.
Yeah.
So Darrelly will have a small advantage going up the tower for Aghanim, and I feel that at this point Udai is not going to be that far behind. Without having a glove in particular, there's not really too much that we can do, and we've already seen pretty much everything but Zora, who's out of logic anyways.
Mm-hmm. You know, in other modes, I think there are arguments for doing things like the fake flipper right now, because you have the Moon Pearl. Maybe you're trying to avoid the Aga Dip, or you... No, I would never justify going back to Eastern for that one check. That's just written off at this point.
Right.
But
you try to come back to Eastern when you have the big key and
here
the
there
bow.
are just so many signs pointing to pod via Aga that you just do that. And again, look at what Darity does with Fire Rod here. She's able to take things out so quickly. It works very nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so he's gonna fake flipper anyway, despite what I said. This will orphan Zora for him, which is fine unless it's not. We've seen, we saw earlier this afternoon a race largely decided because someone left the flipper checks and never went back to them. We've also seen races won because someone got progression off Zora right at the end, and that led them to go mode. So who knows?
And we'll see, like, there are certainly a lot of progression items that we could find at this stage. Maybe come back to get Zora later if we have a mirror, and then can check Catfish on the way. Udai will also get information about what is on Zora's ledge. Won't be able to just get the item, because I don't believe Udai has a splash solution set up with this equipment. But having that information is pretty useful, especially if it ends up being a big key or something. Alright, 300 rupees. That is a very convenient 300 rupees from Waterfall Cave, because that means that Udai is that close. I thought he had it, but he was close.
He's so close! He's so... Oh god, how long is he going to spend farming?
Kingdom for 7 rupees.
Alright, Darity, show us what's on the pyramid.
Pyramid is 50 rupees.
Oh no! Oh no! Give that to my buddy Udai. No, that's hearts. No. This is tricky.
We have access to a bunch of prize packs. In the meantime, Darity is going to go to the pod, which makes sense because I don't believe there's anywhere else in the Dark World we can go right now.
Yeah, we can't even get up to Catfish because we don't have a glove, so that's.
We don't have glove, hammer, or flippers, so no Catfish presently.
We only need the glove. Even if we had flippers, we're not getting all the way to Catfish. But no, Udai, if you're getting bombs, you're just gonna get bombs there.
And sees that 20 rupees on the ledge, just taunting him.
It's so it's actually very good that Udai's bailing right here, because Darity is going to spend most of her money getting into Palace of Darkness, which is where we're pretty sure the progression has to be. And the worst thing you could do is spend 500 rupees, get down to 0 rupees, and then need to source 110 somehow.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would only be 60 after grabbing the 50 on the pyramid, but that's still a lot of rupees
very
to source.
substantial. Yep, that's a good play. And there's our hammer. In pod, French vanilla hammer in shooter room.
Okay. Okay. That does nothing right now, but it does make me go, I bet we're getting hook shot.
Yeah. It opens up the way to the south area of the Dark Overworld,
Oh, of
which
course.
includes
I
Hype
always forget
Cave.
this.
Also includes all the way to Digging Game, as well as Sick Kid. Or not Sick Kid, Stump Kid.
Mm-hmm. You know, someday I'll remember that you can just hammer down those blocks. I don't know why I forget it. It's not like NMG uses that route or anything.
Yeah, that hammer was locked behind 0 keys. The stuff that Darity is about to collect is locked behind 4. At least locked by logic behind 4. And Udai is now going to go up Aga Tower, which is pretty much the only answer at this point.
Mm-hmm. So there's another GT small key. At this point, I think both runners would love to see a mirror right here in pod. Partly because it makes getting out of pod easier.
Mm-hmm.
Partly because now is a great time to mirror and go back to that big key chest that you left behind in Eastern.
Hey, at least you have the advantage of not having many hearts, so it doesn't take as long to death warp.
Yeah.
The downside is you don't have as many hearts, so it also makes it easier to death.
Yeah. So Darity using her last small key to check the Harmless Hellway. I'm a big fan of that.
Mm-hmm. Going to do the hammer jump in order to get the 2 chests here that are also locked behind 6. Darity hasn't checked the Bowlock side. We do have potions at this point, so we can do the potion glitch. And I believe Darity also hasn't done the drop-down check-in pod.
That's right.
Which is in logic behind 1 small key.
Yeah, so we probably see the drop-down. The drop-down and then a check of right side after the death warp here in the maze. I get scared whenever someone's ready to death warp and then draws a piece of heart. But she's fine. She's fine.
I'd get more scared if you accidentally take the death right before grabbing that chest.
At least that's your own fault. There's no one to blame but yourself for that.
That's fair.
Ooh, she is getting bullied on her way down.
Just a blue rupee, and not going to use potion glitch to get to the Bullock chests.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Not sure why she'd just bail on that. There we go. There we go.
Yeah,
Can't go south. Don't have the glove. Sorry.
Yep, Darity forgot that she had a glove. Didn't have a glove.
Soon.
But hey, the warp at Hyrule Castle is actually very convenient.
Oh yeah, it's so great. We can use it to check the pyramid. Oh, we did that already.
Well, if we need to come back to pod again, which we will at some point, then...
Hey, speaking of having hammer,
right here.
We can get to the bomb shop. We can check out what our 5/6s are today.
That's true. That's one that I always forget about.
Most of the time in all dungeons, it's like, who cares? I'm gonna clear every dungeon anyways. But this early in the race, when you have the chance, it's nice to check there and go, okay, what are my 5/6s? When will I have access to do Pyramid Fairy?
We need to know if we're gonna get that Meyer Medallion in Pyramid Fairy or Ganon's Tower this time.
Oh god, not wrong. I mean, I hope you're wrong. It's my strongest hope that you're wrong.
Alright, Hype Cave, 20 rupees. Skullwood's small. Big key to Skullwoods. Heart container and hookshot. So Darity all of a sudden has the ability to full clear Skullwoods and not even have that bad of a routing experience doing so.
Sorry, did you say Skullwoods?
Skullwoods.
Skullwoods, huh? I think the game is saying Skullwoods too. Just a little guess there.
Mm-hmm. The hookshot in tandem with the hammer is able to bring us to the left side village of outcasts part of the map, which opens up a lot of things to do. Oh, and there's our glove.
All right. Or, we can just get there through Kakariko, the boring way. So it feels like Darity is running a lead on progression. Or just running a lead right now, given that she's actually got the progression for where we're supposed to go, and things are feeling pretty linear at the moment.
Mm-hmm. The glove now opens things up a lot, though, because glove plus lamp also makes the mountain an option. The back of escape is now an option.
Mm-hmm.
We have the magic cape, so spike cave is an option.
Yeah, with that bottle, or all 3 bottles we've seen.
Yeah.
Gosh.
You could go into Hera if you want to. With the hookshot, you could clear Hera if you want to, though that would be out of logic. And Udai just picking up that hammer.
Well, I like that Darity is taking the simplest of all the available options from that glove and just doing the back of escape, because it's 3 quick checks.
Yep, mine as well. Back of escape, just a bit of love, but we take just a bit of love right now. We'll need it later.
How aggressive is Udai going to be here? He's not opening the front door. He's going straight to right side. I don't think he can mimic clip.
We have bottles to do the
glitch?
potion camera unlock.
Yeah, I just wonder how many times he's prepared to do it.
Unfortunately, it has to... Well, it doesn't have to. You could take damage from a bomb or an anti-fairy. But... Does Udai want to do it?
What are you doing?
Okay, yes, Udai is going to take damage from the anti-fairy to use the red potion rather than the blue one.
Sure.
Very good. In the meantime, Darity is going to save the old man. I like this play a lot. It doesn't really get any faster than this. Mine as well. Get a bit of information, and if we find something like the mirror, then that makes routing even nicer when we get to Village of Outcasts. We'll see if Darity also goes to the right side of Death Mountain, where a treasure trove of items awaits. Udai rewarded with the boots!
Well, that could be big. Not in terms of progression, just in terms of Udai might save a fair amount of time. Because I feel like Darity is not going back until she can finish off pod.
Mm-hmm. That is definitely a big advantage from not mimic clipping. Potion glitching, not mimic clipping through pod.
Mm-hmm. Or mimic clipping if you want.
Could have been done through mimic clipping too.
Darity is headed over to Eastern Death Mountain with that hookshot. Down to half a heart after the cabbages, but that is all you need. Just don't get hit again.
Yeah, watch out for those techniques.
Or use the red potion.
That's even safer.
Yeah, alright. Easy game.
That's one less potion than that Darity can use to potion glitch with.
Mm-hmm. Shield. A small key for Meyer again. Gosh, we have a lot of Meyer stuff. No way to get there, but...
Mm-hmm.
Bombs? A big key to Thieves Town. Oh, that is nice to have before you head to Outcasts.
Yep, that is very nice to have before going to Village of Outcasts. Map to Skull and the Mushroom. And we'll go out. I imagine we'll go to Spike Cave at least. I'll be interested to see if we go to... If Darity goes to Hera here.
It's that awkward spot of, do I go to Hera?
Yeah.
Do I go to Spiral Cave? Do I do Hera and then loop back to Spiral Cave?
Yeah, because like
everything just feels awkward. Oh, but you know, if you walk over to Hera, you also get Ether Tablet right now.
That is true.
That sweetens the deal.
First 2 chests are in Logic and Hera. You can beat the dungeon via Hera potting. Darity considered it, and yep, going to do it. I agree. Ether Tablet does make it that much sweeter.
Oh, and Euda's decided he is not going back in for what I guess the drop down chest and maybe the bridge chest in pod. I don't think that is going to hurt him at this point.
Yeah, the drop down was 5 rupees. I don't recall offhand what the bridge one was. And there we have the flute.
Oh. Eudai, you also do not have the glove. I know it's close.
It's
I know
so
you'll get
tempting
it
with
soon,
the hammer.
You don't have it now. But yeah, that flute for Darity is pretty big. It's in a spot that Eudai just might not prioritize depending on where he goes once he gets this glove.
Also a nice thing to find right before going into Village of Outcasts is now you'll be able to unlock the flute along the way.
Yeah.
Alright, Darity's setting up to do Parapot. So this is interesting doing it without the Tower of Hera big key, because if there's something in the Tower of Hera big chest, then you've isolated it pretty massively.
You just go back and get it when you have the mirror or something.
Yeah.
And if the mirror is in there, well, the seed is absolute garbage, and you shouldn't feel bad about anything you do with your life ever.
Yeah, it doesn't take too long as you're going to the mountain anyway, though you would like to not go to the mountain as much as you can avoid going to the mountain. That's another Skullwood small key. That one is out of Logic currently.
That is 3 smalls we've seen for Skull, though. Because I think I picked one up from the Desert Palace dip he did.
There Eudai picks up that glove. And we'll see what Eudai decides to do now that Eudai has found the glove with so many options available.
Go to the mountain, go to the mountain, go to the mountain.
Oh man, Moldorm giving Darity quite a hard time here. But gets through anyway without falling there. That was very nice.
Oh. There's some scary spots there, but she pulled through. And that is our first crystal between the 2 players. Only took us 36 minutes, which actually isn't that bad compared to some of the things we've seen this week.
Yeah, not bad. First crystal. It is also our second dungeon clear, because we both beat Aga Tower earlier. Darity gonna head back for Spiral Cave as well. Yep, the best way to not fall against Moldorm is to not fall.
Oh, yeah. I love to do that.
Yeah. Eudai also going to head right up the mountain, checking Bumper Cave along the way. Not Bumper Cave. Bonk Rocks.
Yeah, there's a bump.
Other B. You bump into it.
So, for real, though, also shoutouts to Darity for, in that Moldorm fight, for not angering Moldorm. It's a little too easy sometimes to accidentally get a poke in or a slash. especially when you're trying to keep your sword out so you stay on the platform. And she was able to do that in a way that I've seen a lot of runners make the mistake.
Yeah, we don't want to see Moldor enter angry mode. Udai not even going to scout the Spectacle Rock item, just going to go get it. I like that
It's
confidence.
key sanity. It's key sanity. It's probably good.
50 rupees. We take 50 rupees.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Not at this point. We've got all the money we need.
Well, for potions later.
I guess he had to get it so he could line up the bomb jump, but he didn't make... just save and quit here. Just save and quit. Back to Matt. Okay. All right. It's fine. It's fine.
All right, Darity activating that flute. Are we going into... Darity's going to flute instead of going into Village of Outcasts now. Check that mushroom spot. Yeah, removes the ability to use fake powder later, but it's just so convenient with the flute, and if there's something important on the witch, better to have that before going into Village of Outcasts.
I guess.
That's
There's
important.
That's very important. I mean, if that had been the Thieves' Town Big Key, I would have been eating my opinion, but I'm kind of...
We did already find the Thieves' Town Big Key.
Sorry, Small Key. Small Key.
Right.
That's like the big thing that I think Darity's missing right now when she goes to the Dark World. Because, we are looking at a full clear of Skull, full clear of Thieves, minus that big chest at this point, which is a pretty good deal, all things considered.
And we can also check Bumper Cave along the way. And we have Catfish.
Yeah, we do. My temptation here is wait till you get Mirror, and then any save and quit from the Dark World gives you Catfish. But as we always love to say, what if your Mirror ends up on Catfish, and then you're just not going to do it until
Alright, let's see if Skullwoods ends up being big here. Got 100 rupees. Udai did choose basically the same path that Darity did after finding the glove, going straight up the mountain, and now going into Hera. We'll see if Udai clears Hera as well, but Udai is also going to pick up that flute from Ether Tablet. And with the boots, Udai will have the movement advantage for a little while.
Yeah.
Possibly a long while, depending on when Darity goes back to Pod.
Yeah, so flute, but also starting on the pyramid, make getting back to Pod fairly attractive for Darity. It's just a question of having the big key and the bow to actually finish the dungeon. I don't think she heads back before that.
Yeah, I agree.
So with the fourth small key that she's picked up, I think that's enough to send her there once finish the dungeon equipment's in place.
Darity, you got the Skullwood's big key. You could open that chest if you'd like.
Wait, didn't she bomb jump to that? I thought she bomb jumped there.
Oh, did she and I miss it? Okay. Okay, she did. Alright. Thanks for clarifying. Nice Herapod on Udai's side.
First try.
Love to see it.
Right. I was gonna say something, and then right, Skull's a crystal. That's the analysis. Skull's a crystal.
I don't believe either runner checked the bomb shop to know which ones are
no
the red
they don't
ones.
care. They don't want to keep us informed about things. It's just common courtesy when you're being restreamed. Runners, come on. I'm totally kidding.
We'll just see it coincidentally the next time the menu is opened. It's like,
yes,
a splash of red on the right side. Clearly, it was a red crystal.
When will they menu in this quick swap race?
Alright, Udai with a very nice Moldorm kill, and gets on the board with that crystal as well. Darity gonna preserve the hearts for this Mothula fight and just
I
walk
like it.
through
I like
instead of death warping.
I like that so much. I like that
Yeah.
she's doing the bridge chest before doing the moth fight this week. Because it means she doesn't have to leave the dungeon and reload the dungeon after.
Yeah.
Plus, who knows? Maybe you got your tempered sword there, and then the fight's just easier.
Yeah.
Not easier, faster.
Lots of nice things that Darity could still find in that bridge chest. Alright, Mothula. Let's have a nice clean fight and no hiding in the spikes this time. Meantime, we have Udai is checking the back of escape.
Wait, did he not do this? You die! Team meeting. I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Just a bit of love back there.
That was a little bit of a long moth fight. Not too bad, all things considered. Sometimes moth just hides in the corner. But it does go on longer than you want, as it tends to do when you just have Master Sword. You just need a couple too many hits to make it quick.
Oh, a win's a win, at least.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was never any danger.
And I believe that we have a regular crystal, not a red crystal, from Skullwoods.
Yeah. No red crystals on the map, or on the pause menu yet, so. Oh, hey, now Udai's checking bonk rocks for a big 20. It's good that it was nothing.
Alright. Darity walking over here to check our bumper cave item. I like this, with the cape so early especially. Unfortunately, don't like that prize.
Yeah, if you didn't do it then, you're not doing it until you get Mirror for Graveyard Ledge.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 7 checks incoming still for Darity.
Mm-hmm. Maybe more if Darity decides to keep going through and beat Thieves Down.
I said 7. That's wrong. It's 10. Because there are 7 checks we can do in Thieves Town right now.
Oh, I thought you were assuming that you just opened the first 4.
No, I forgot we're doing Key Sanity. I think in this position, you go through and you finish off Thieves Town. You've cleared so much of the rest of the game that I don't think you want to leave that back part there, especially when you get the reward for finishing the dungeon.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, Darity finds that mirror.
Okay, that goes extremely well with that Hera small key we just picked up.
Mm-hmm.
And, ironically, with that Graveyard Ledge that I had no idea when we'd get back to.
And we haven't seen Spike Cave yet either.
No, we haven't. Also lets us grab red mail from in front of Hera, which is not worth the time to go out of your way for, but is literally on the way at this point.
Yeah. We're also now a flippers away from being able to clear Swamp Palace, with the exception of the big chests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Alright, in the meantime, Udai is going into Skullwoods as well. Which, you might as well, you've got pretty much everything that you need for it. Having a little bit of difficulty with that bomb jump. And Darity finds the small key to Thieves Town in Thieves Town itself. Now there's absolutely no reason why you wait on clearing Thieves Town.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you're going through.
Without that small key, even if you do have the big key, I can understand waiting a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only
I wouldn't do it, but
additional-
I'd see it.
Yeah.
If you hold off on the back of Thieves Town at that point, you are playing a different randomizer than I am. Maybe there's some Galaxy Marine play of like waiting till you get a tempered sword, so you come back and the blind fight is easier because your sword does more damage. No, that's not how that works. So, where do we go after Thieves Town? Is it just going to give us flippers so that we can clear out Swamp Palace?
Catfish?
Do we have to go back to Hera?
Catfish, Hera, Spike
right.
Cave. Oh, or we get the Titan's mitts.
Yep. Mitts from upstairs.
Well.
Yeah, okay. Well, that gives us...
That gives us a lot. We got Meyer. We can see if we have that ether medallion that we need to open it.
Mm-hmm.
We can do the Smith chain since we're right here in the Village of Outcasts area anyway.
Yeah, I
can do hammer pegs.
Take the time to do that now. Dark Death Mountain.
Yep, Dark Death Mountain. Also see our Turtle Rock medallion. And that's another reason to go back to the mountain, clean up Hera, and check Spike Cave. And we still do have Catfish. And we still do have Zora.
Yeah, probably end up putting those on the back burner right now.
Mm-hmm.
Just given that we have the mitts and all the mitts related stuff available.
Yeah, we're doing fine without.
I like the
just enough magic to get through that room. Oh, Bo.
Okay.
Bo in the Thieves Town big chest. So now that could bring Darity back to Pod in order to pick up those boots, but we'd really like to have the big key before going back to Pod.
I like the idea coming out of this dungeon of doing Smith Chain just because you're here for it. And then maybe heading to the Meyer area. Because the other advantage beyond just scouting Meyer and potentially even going in to the front is you can clear desert right now. You've got the big key. You can mirror into the back. If you're Darity, you have not seen any of that dungeon yet. And hey, we have to beat it.
Yep, the other advantage to going the Smith route is you can check K45 along the way, and after you're done checking the Smiths, then you can go see what is on the Bombos tablet.
You sure can.
Yeah. The only thing that is unfortunate about that is that we don't currently have the flippers to be able to do Swamp Palace in the meantime, but I think that the upside is still worthwhile.
Flippers are in Meyer. I have zero basis for that, but flippers are in Meyer.
Yeah. Udai taking a save and quit after finishing out Skull Woods.
Yep. Very good. Very good. I think that's probably faster than trying to run back through the dungeon, which loads like 20,000 screens for you. I don't actually know if that's correct, but I do know that like mirroring at that point and walking through the light world is faster than going in and out of the dungeon through the dark world. But this does have the disadvantage of he's going through the forest to get there, as opposed to just coming at it with mitts. With mitts, it'd be great. So Darity is doing the Smith.
Yep, I like this play a lot. Small key to Pod. That's 5.
Ooh. Okay.
So with Hammer Yump, Darity is able to full clear pod once we find that big key, wherever it might be.
There's Udai picking up the mirror now. Okay, he is going to go into Thieves Town. He's just going a bit roundabout to get there.
I like checking all the village checks before Thieves Town, because you never know, one of them might be the Thieves Town small key.
Yeah, I've seen people say, "Oh, I'll check all the chests because there might be boots, and then I'd have boots for Thieves Town." And I kind of go, "But there might be boots in Thieves Town that make checking all those houses faster." So that, yeah, I don't get that, but I get checking all those because without that small key, you would be burning if you walked out, went to see Shave House, and said, "Oh, look, a small key."
Mm-hmm. And not to be missed, Darity did pick up the powder from K45. So, gonna be able to check Magic Bat the next time Darity decides to head back to Kakariko.
Yeah. Is Udai lost in Thieves Town? That was weird. He seemed to get turnaround, went back to the room with the second chest.
The bunny looks so sad wearing the Christmas hat.
Yeah.
Alright, Darity hopping over to Meyer area. We're gonna see what we need. And Darity will also be able to do most of Desert. All of Desert. Most of Desert. Don't have the small key.
No.
Got Ether Medallion.
Hmm.
So we can get into Misery Mire with our 2 keys. Ice Rod.
Okay.
Pretty benign place for Ice Rod, all things considered.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So, I'm not sure. Do you dip into Mire here after doing Desert Palace? On the one hand, you're here. On the other hand, Mire is the fastest dungeon in the game to get back to.
Mm-hmm.
2 keys puts like most of the dungeon in logic, but without a big
6
key,
of 8.
you can't do the right side. So,
yeah, and I think because we're missing 2 items to full clear Mire, the big key as well as the red cane, then going into Mire to get some value with the 6, I think is reasonable. If you find one of those 2 things, though, then I can understand wanting to hold out a little bit longer until you find the other one, potentially.
Yeah. It's that weird thing of if you're... As soon as you have one thing, you feel like single dip is on the table.
Mm-hmm. The other consideration is that we know that Misery Mire is a pendant, and even though the medallion to get in was actually not in Ganon's Tower this time, there's the possibility that the big key that we need to complete the dungeon still is. So getting some value out of Mire now, rather than later, could be valuable.
There's even that awful idea that your red cane is in Ganon's Tower and your other pendant is Turtle Rock. But
that is true. That would also require Ice Palace keys to cooperate.
Sure. Yeah, there's logic with those. They mean something. But yeah, you're totally right. I don't know why Udai did the big chest first in Thieves Town. It's faster to do it after you get the maiden, just because then you can run back up through the conveyor room and not have to deal with lifting the rock again. So I don't know why he's going that way.
All right, we have double bosses. Second Landmola gets a little bit away from Darity, but still not going to be too rough of a fight. And a very nice blind script on Udai's side. Getting our...
Darity just got the 3-cycle there. Good work. Good work.
So Udai gets the pendant from
to come back
Thieves.
from that.
Darity gets the crystal from Desert. We don't know currently if it is a red one. So Udai also going to do the Smith Chain after this, and yeah, I like this play a lot. It's right here, you're going to be walking south anyway, might as well. You don't necessarily have to walk south after this, you could walk north and check King's Tomb as well as the Graveyard Ledge. Going over to Catfish and then get the Zora item that you missed. So there are definitely options.
I think going south is the play here, just because it gives you 45 and bombos along the way. But going north is on the table, especially when you have boots and King's Tomb is there.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw nothing useful in Checkerboard Cave, and Darity then leaving there.
Yep.
Nothing useful in Checkerboard, then Darity checked Agina, right. And then saved and quit out of Agina because that is faster than fluting. And looks like she's going to head up to Dark Death Mountain. 6 checks plus, as we said, the Scout of T-Rock.
Mm-hmm. Plus you can go into Hera with that Hera small key. Plus you can go into Spike Cave.
Yeah, you backtrack across the top of the map here.
So we see here, I think that Flippers would be the most valuable thing that Darity could find at this point, because that leaves Swamp Palace wide open with the exception of the big chest.
Yep. And again, who knows where that big key is ever going to be.
Yeah. Also leaves Ice Palace open, but we don't have the big key for that yet.
Udai, you have the boots, so you want to start dashing here and just leave that purple chest behind. Or, don't. Whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, that's one. ₹300 from the man. But yeah, that check as well. If... Oh, I didn't... That was Quake Medallion. Okay.
That was Quake. That's Quake on T-Rock, yeah.
To explain what that trick is, if you leave the chest behind while you're in the Dark World, then you can use the boots. Normally using the boots would cause the chest to be abandoned. However, if you check the man at the same time that you mirror back into the Light World, then it'll know that the chest is behind, and you'll be able to open it even though the chest is not directly following you. So Darity finds the big key of Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice one.
Yep.
Combine that with the bow, you can just go and clear out that dungeon now. Why not?
Yep, another thing that could potentially bring Darity back to the pod area to pick up that boots that were missing from the Bollock side.
Oh, I would hope not. It seems like an odd thing to do, to walk through the maze just because you have an extra key and you're doing Eastern. I would hope not. I do like this follow through on the Hera small key while you're here.
Yeah, me too.
Especially because, it was in logic at the same time. Everything else unlocked by the glove was. So.
Alright, so Udai is going to beat Desert now. I'll be very curious if Udai decides to go into Mire. And I think at this point, especially given what we know already, it's a very reasonable play.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, maybe even from that raid that just came in, we're about an hour into this race between Udai and Darity. Darity slightly ahead on dungeon clears as she's been focusing in that direction a little more. Udai doing a few random overworld checks at the start of the game before the game just said, nope, I don't care that it's key sanity. You're doing Aga Tower. We're forcing it at the start. And then since then, Darity's just been running a bit of a lead with Udai doing the one extra check or two extra checks on the right side of pod and pulling those boots to get a bit of a speed advantage here. See how the rest of this pays out. It's been a little linear since then, even. Udai having several cycles of trouble on these landmos. And finishes off with a bow. What is this? NMG?
Run out of fire rod shots and it can be a bit rough. I also like that Darity saw the red mail atop Spectacle Rock, didn't even decide to pick it up.
It's all dungeons key sanity. We're gonna end with like 16 hearts anyways.
Exactly. We got 11 now. We got blue mail. We're fine.
You don't need red mail when you have like 18 hearts on your team.
Alright, Udai popping in to check the big chest. Or not the big chest. The torch.
Maybe he just forgot that he looked at that earlier?
Yeah, I thought he saw that earlier.
He
I'm like, wait a minute, Udai checked the big chest too. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he came here earlier because he had the big key from doing escape.
All right.
So.
And this does look like a Mire play on Udai's side, which I like a lot. I think progression is very likely to be here.
Yeah, Flippers in Mire.
Nothing from Magic Bat, however. And Darity going to finish off Eastern Palace, but not taking the maze.
Oh, she turned it around?
Is taking the maze to go to pod as well. All right. So this is going to get Darity the boots.
Yeah. This is big for her.
We'll also get a chance to see the one other thing that we can do in pod that we couldn't earlier, which is the drop down big key chest of pod.
Yeah. So she's going to feel really good that she came back to get those boots.
Yeah.
Maybe a little scared that her opponent got them first, but really good that she went back, that she made the call to do this.
Yep. I like this routing on Darity's side. Udai finds the Quake medallion from the bridge chest of Misery Mire, and we know that Quake is required since that is our Turtle Rock medallion.
Yeah, it's a good dip. Still need, of course, a cane, big key, and at least 2 more small keys. But those pieces are starting to come together for Udai.
Yep, and we'll see. Maybe we'll find some more of those in the 4 checks that we got left. And yeah, I do agree with Darity's decision to do Eastern Palace first. That's the one that you can full clear, and you might find the pod big key along the way.
Yep. That's there.
We're also going to see the big key chest, which neither runner was able to collect their first time around here. It has been in Logic for a little while since we found Lamp at the shovel spot, and the shovel was relatively early, but...
That's right. Udai tried to go there and... Udai got bopped in the dark room.
Yep, that big chest was new, and the boss is, of course, going to be new. Well, in the meantime, other than that Quake Medallion, not finding too much in Misery Mire yet, but 2 more checks to go. And there's the flippers. Oh, man. That's gotta feel a little rough. Alright, so if you see the flippers there, then now you start wondering. It's like, oh no, I didn't get it my first time around. Maybe my opponent did. We know that Darity is the first one to the flippers, but that is a huge find.
Neither runner is going to feel good about those flippers.
Oh no. You don't like seeing that one if you're Darity, but Darity's the first one to it.
I mean, so like, on the one hand, it's not that big a deal. We know that the Zora checks Udai didn't really do anything, and Darity had the option of doing them anyways from fake flippering, so whatever. On the other hand, I don't know. It would make me in this spot as a player go, did my opponent just rush Swamp? Did they do something really wild there that I'm just missing out on?
Yep, Swamp Palace is now clearable with the exception of the big chest, and now we gotta start wondering. So, the play that Udai needs to make at this point is to go up the mountain to get that Eastern Palace big key, which is going to be the thing to lead Udai back into Eastern Palace to get those flippers, and then beyond the track to complete the seed.
And hey, that'll give you a second Turtle Rock Smoky as well, which pushes us ever closer to clearing that dungeon out. I mean, still need the dang cane.
So I think what Udai is doing here is going to check King's Tomb as well as Graveyard Ledge. Maybe do the Kern Jump to be able to check Catfish as well. Which are also things that we haven't seen on Darity's side, and it might be a little while before Darity comes back to this area, so if something good like the Red Cane ends up being here, that would be...
I think Darity's in a really good position here to save and quit out of pod, and then just go straight to Catfish from there, because you've beaten Nega, you've got the mirror, so you'll go into the Dark World. And with the mirror and flippers, you can do the whole Zora area from Catfish.
And we haven't seen Zora yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen that yet.
I forget about that one, too.
Didn't have the cash for it. So.
Udai was 7 rupees short.
Nothing on Graveyard Ledge.
Yeah, there's Darity picking up those boots. Which, despite not having the boots, it has been Darity largely the one finding progression items faster this seed so far. Not going to check Catfish. I think this is going to be a Swamp Palace play, and that's nice. In the meantime, Udai finds the big key to Ganon's Tower. That is extremely nice. Big key to Ganon's Tower from King's Tomb. That's one of those where it's super early, it's super easy to check from the Sanctuary, but it's isolated, so it might just slip by your radar if you let it go for too long. And Udai is doing the Kern Jump to get to Catfish and Zora.
Nice Kern Jump there.
First try.
Darity will probably get that big key unless every other item just falls in her lap and she ends up going to GT, I think. I think the King's Tomb checks are probably the first things you start doing as soon as your dungeons run dry.
It can be dangerous though, because if you're able to clear all the crystal dungeons, but you don't have that GT big key yet, then you can make the assumption that the GT big key is in Ganon Tower itself, and then all of a sudden you've wasted.
Yeah. No, so you rush GT and then you get your Mario big key there, and it works out.
That's true. Mario big key could definitely still be there.
Udai gives us a frighteningly fast map check that I don't even think he meant to do. Turns out Catfish was nothing as well. Looks like Turtle Rock and Swamp are both crystals today.
Okay, so we're gonna start needing some Turtle Rock keys pretty soon then.
Yeah.
Not to mention that red cane.
Oh, that second one that Darity picked up came from Armos Knights. So eventually it'll show up. And there's a small key also to Turtle Rock on Zora.
Speaking of keys to Turtle Rock showing up.
So that's 3 of 4, folks.
Alright. Udai heading to the mountain now. This is the play that we need to see. Gonna pick up that Eastern Palace big key from Hookshot Cave. Going to see that it is in fact the Quake Medallion that is needed to open Turtle Rock. And that'll put Udai on the path to grabbing those flippers.
Yeah, looks like he might be doing Harrow Basement first. No, he's doing
Spike Cave first.
Cave. He's got potions. He'll be.
Oh, Darity finds that Meyer big key.
Excuse me, game. I can't complain about this mode if you put the keys in reasonable spots outside of Ganon's tower. That's pretty good to find, though.
Oh, taking a death on Spike Cave. Oh, and it starts you from the pyramid because we already beat Aghanim. Ugh. That's rough, buddy.
I mean, it's nothing good, but he doesn't know that.
Yeah. It's one that, like, I feel at this point now you're just going to assume that it's nothing and try to live your life and then have it gnaw at you the entire rest of the seed.
You have 2 options. You can either go back there and just be like, right, I just lost a minute or more. Or you go, all right, I just lost the game, the entire game, if that was progression. Looks like he's taken a second option, which is correct here.
Yeah. I generally like the second option more, rather than just accept a guaranteed minute time loss to just give yourself the opportunity to maybe save it.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the Tempered Sword.
Did you know, folks, that there is always a sword in Swamp?
On left side Swamp, no less.
Yeah. Certainly worth the time for checking at this point.
Udai, we need magic to open it.
That's fine. He's got blue potion. I mean, you could go into Super Bunny Cave and get the full magic jar there, and then come back out and mirror and climb back up, or you could just drink your blue potion.
Right.
Still doesn't feel great to do that, but.
And nice positioning on the bomb diver down. Gets it twice on Darity's side. That is our 4th Turtle Rock small key, and the red cane.
Oh, that works out extremely well for Darity.
Yep, Darity has
take that Meyer big key and just go beat that dungeon.
And there's the big key for Ice Palace, which with the red cane and 1 small key, that does put Ice Palace full clearable in logic as well.
So if you're Darity right now, you just need what? A Turtle Rock big key. So I guess she can't finish that now. A pod big key, and again, it's tower big key. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good spot to be in. Udai is kind of slowly on the same path behind, but you know, I feel like his big advantage potentially in this race was Quake, and Darity is just gonna walk into that Quake in a second.
Yeah. I feel that Udai's big advantage right now is already having the Ganon's Tower big key,
Yeah.
which could be relevant if Darity doesn't end up going to King's Tomb very soon.
Yeah, that's about the only way it would matter. But
Especially because if you have all the crystals, it's very easy to make the assumption that the Ganon's Tower big key is in the dungeon itself.
yeah, that's what we were saying a couple of minutes ago, and I think it is still true. All depends on when things drop, when the items drop in front of Darity.
And there's that shield.
Hope you're happy, Udai.
Small key to Ganon's Tower. That is our 4th one, I believe.
Looks like it. Looks like Darity's collected all 4. We of course only need 2 if we know what we're doing in the tower, but 4 just saves us a couple of pickups.
Yep, Darity gonna check out Flipper's things, and Udai on the right path gonna pick up those actual Flippers and beat Eastern Palace along the way.
Mm-hmm. There's something interesting here is we still don't know what our 3rd pendant is. We've beaten Thieves, got the pendant there. Darity can beat Meyer and get the 2nd pendant from there, which Udai will eventually have access to do, so that's a few minutes away. We have no idea where that 3rd pendant is.
Yeah, it's either this dungeon pod or Turtle Rock. Oh no, Turtle Rock we know is a crystal. So it's either this dungeon or pod.
It feels more likely to say it's pod, just because of that big key syndrome. We've got the big keys for the other stuff, so maybe the last pod key is in. Oh, chat's saying, and our tracker's updating us that IP here is the last pendant.
Yep, because you can see the P in the upper left-hand corner now.
That's a new feature that I'm still not totally accustomed to because I don't play this game enough. Man, what a great feature to have rolled out just in time for Key Sanity Week.
Okay, so now
makes a world of difference.
It is very nice to have. So now that means that the Palace of Darkness big key can play the role that we thought the Misery Mire big key was going to play. The one that you find in the Ganon's Tower basement somewhere.
No. Pod's your last crystal, so it's Pod's the last
right.
crystal, so it has to be outside of GT, so it's great.
Yep, I have that backwards.
It's great. It's great. It could be right here. No, that's
Hera.
Ah! We tried. God, I wouldn't want to go back to Hera at this point just to look for the pod key. But
yeah, I feel that if you decide to go back to Hera to check that one remaining big chest, then it's going to be at a time when you're going to want to go up the mountain anyway, and the most likely time for Darity will be when you're ready to do Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's a nice little thing to jog over and check after finishing T-Rock, or maybe even before doing T-Rock, since you might hope you get to do T-Rock without checks.
Mm-hmm.
Though she's still missing the GT big key at that point.
Yep. So nice armor's clear on Udai's side, grabs that Turtle Rock key, gets another crystal. There's our pod big key. So finding that pod big key is going to be very nice. Now Darity can beat that dungeon.
Where's Udai going here?
Are we going back to pod? Nice bottle. Took the fourth one a long time to show up compared to the other ones. Oh, this is Floating Island.
Okay. I have no idea if that's the fast way to get there, but he got there. And then he's just gonna go into Ice Palace. All right.
Okay.
This is gonna hurt a little bit without the cane.
That's true. Not going to be able to do Icebreaker strat. And there's our last pod small key. So, heads up play for Darity would be doing Misery Mire before Palace of Darkness, because you already have all the things that you need to full clear it, and then when you're ready to do Palace of Darkness, you can check Sahasrara for the green pendant item along the way.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. I like doing things in that order.
And yep, that's what's gonna happen, it looks like. So, very nicely done.
And this, of course, is going to give Darity that Quake medallion for access to Turtle Rock. Meaning that the only thing she is missing at this point will be the Turtle Rock big key and the Ganon's Tower big key.
Yep. Alright, so where can the Turtle Rock big key be at this point?
It's probably in the front half of Turtle Rock.
Yep, could be the front half of Turtle Rock, could be the remaining 2 checks that we have here, could be on King Helmasaur. Not sure which our other reds were, if we have access to Pyramid Fairy or not.
Yeah. What room is Udai? What is he doing? I have a vague memory of this bomb jump.
The bomb jump? Oh yeah.
Huh. Yeah, we did used to play like that.
It was a staple once.
So uncivilized.
Darity picks up that Quake medallion. Gonna be happy to find that.
I don't like that she picked that up first. Much better to do the rest of the dungeon than hookshot over to that chest. But, you know, these are minor complaints. She's still doing fine. Ice Palace big. No big key.
Yeah, the Ice Palace big key is an interesting one, because logic would always say that you need it, but we know our runners can get through without it. Turtle Rock big key could be in that Hera big chest as well.
But okay.
For our Hera triple dip, that'd be unfortunate. So in the meantime, as we're seeing our runners basically cover the steps that the other ones have trodden, this is a good time to give them a follow. Show some love and appreciation for us getting to watch their struggles throughout this seed so far.
I don't even know if I'd call it struggles. Normally I would. Things have just actually been plopping down in front of them, just doled out in little increments. I'm actually turning into a fan of this seed and just the way it never leaves you going too long without something new.
Yeah.
Just getting that dopamine rush every time you get something good.
It's been a pretty linear seed in a way, but they've definitely been finding the lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely made for some interesting turns with the Udai finding boots earlier.
Yeah.
Versus some of the decisions that the runners had to make after they had more access to gloves and things.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. All right. Let's see if. No, that is not a spooky setup. I had hopes here. Darity lifted the rock from the bottom. I was excited, but this is without that boots tap. This is not going to be a spooky day for us. Or did she miss this? Yeah, she missed the switch. Good on her for noticing that.
Oh, wait. Maybe she didn't miss it the first time.
Wait, what? Oh no! Oh no! Meanwhile, Udai was going over with the sword beam strats. To get through the first part of Cold Stare with less damage or less magic, which is good because then he needed the fire rod to do damage and potion.
Good. Be careful there.
This is worse than dying in Spike Cave.
Pulsar hits pretty hard. Nice to have that bottle.
Shoutouts to Redmail saving his butt there too.
Alright. Darity taking the cape and slash approach.
This is so silly. I love it. But it's so silly.
Let those eyes run into you.
Silly.
Very nice, clear.
No. Does it work? Yes. Udai buying more potions since he can definitely afford it. Costs a bit of time, but less time than dying does. And we are gonna see.
Yep.
Udai and probably Darity head into pod.
Yep, they're gonna do those at the same time. So, like I said, with Darity having done Misery Mire now, that does give her the green pendant to deliver to Saha on the way over. So if that ends up being the Turtle Rock Big Key, it could be a bit rough for Udai. In a way, though, it would be good for Darity for her to have to keep looking for the Turtle Rock Big Key, because she's also still looking for the Ganis Tower Big Key, which we know to be in King's Tomb.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I think a lot of the fulcrum of this race right now is going to be, where's that Turtle Rock Big Key? How does it direct Darity's searches? And does she get that Ganon's Tower Big Key? Because Udai is kind of on a track at this point to have everything show up. He doesn't have the Mire Big Key. He'll find that when he does Swamp. The only reason he hasn't done Swamp yet is because he's hoping maybe he gets the Swamp Big Key before he heads in there. He can still go to Swamp at any point. That'll let him go finish off Mire. Yeah. So that's all going to drop in front of him.
Yeah. Other reason to wait on Swamp, maybe you just hope that you can go mode it, or maybe you want to be able to make a decision about skipping left side and would like fewer items to have to look for.
Oh, that's a scary thought. There's a sword on left side Swamp. It's the Tempered Sword. It does as much damage as the hammer.
Yeah, it's a pretty useful one to pick up. Yes, the green pendant just led to a green rupee.
Why does he bufferless hammer? Why does he buffer? We've talked about this. It's a super spike strat when you do it. It's just hard to do. I mean, I think he got it there.
Hey, second try.
Look at that second try
swag.
bufferless hammer. No one actually does that, but Udai does that.
That's probably faster than a lot of buffered.
I mean, yeah, when you do it that quickly, it's faster than me pausing back and forth 20 times. Well, 10, but...
I like hammer dashing in here to clear out the items on Udai's side.
Oh, it's a big feels good. Ooh, Udai having some trouble in mimics here.
All right, Helmasaur, do you have the Turtle Rock Big Key?
Already taking a few hits when she's trying to hit with hammer. Not going to damage her enough to really cause a difference. 13 hearts is more than double. Well, roughly double what we're used to having for Helmasaur, plus Blue Mail. She is fine.
Yeah.
You can take a lot of damage in that fight and still be okay.
Just 50 rupees on Helmasaur.
I got a bit out of sync on the turtle room, but pulled it back together.
Yeah. Nice thing about getting out of sync on the turtle room is usually the top two turtles are just, when they flip over, they're gonna go in the same spot and you can knock them out at the same time.
Yeah, as long as they go back together, you're not losing much time.
Yeah. Darity going in for the one item that she did not check yet, which is Harmless Hellway, I believe.
Oh, huh. Okay. Interesting. Oh no, it'll be...
it'll be the big chest. You're right.
It'll be the big chest that Udai was doing as well. They both did Harmless Hellways specifically so they wouldn't have to go all the way to the back again.
Yeah.
Means we're going to see them finish up this dungeon at roughly the same time.
All right. Where are we going now?
I think if you're Darity, you just go to Turtle Rock. Got to start somewhere.
This might be Graveyard Ledge into King's Tomb.
This is Pedestal.
Pedestal, okay.
Oh, right. We got 3 pendants. Yeah,
yep.
okay.
I like it. I like it.
Why not? All right. Get your ped hype in chat, folks. She is going to read it, not just blind pull it. Because this is a race. But maybe it'll be the Turtle Rock Big Key.
Yep.
And we'll see that pull.
Oh, she is going to blind pull it.
Fake out, and it is...
10 arrows.
No.
Not even the silver arrows.
Not even silvers.
Yeah. In the meantime, we did have our 5-6 crystals. Udai is going to check that big bomb.
Huh. Okay. On the one hand, cool. On the other hand, this is just putting off... This is more putting off Swamp Palace, trying to get that big key first, I guess.
All right, so now I think Darity is checking...
Yeah, this will be North Dark World stuff.
Yep. So this is going to get Darity the big key for Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, she's going to feel pretty good about pulling that.
Yeah. However, it does turn out that Pyramid Fairy is nothing, just a full heart for your troubles.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Darity hasn't done Bonk Rocks either. Because she was a little bit late to the boots. Udai now gonna go do Swamp Palace. We'll see if Udai decides to skip left side and potentially miss that sword. But I feel that if you're...
I think he's far enough from go mode here that... Okay, folks. Okay, don't go right to get down to Swamp Palace, because then you have to come back left. Just go straight down. Just go through the water. I know, water feels slow. It's faster than screen transitions.
No, the TR big key isn't on Zora.
A TR small key is, in fact, on Zora.
Yeah. Could be the TR small key that leads to the TR big key.
Yeah, that's the one Darity doesn't have. I believe the one Udai doesn't have came from Vidi? Is that right?
Well, Darity killed Vitreous.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right.
Or is it just on Argus here? Maybe it's just on Argus here.
Okay, we had the wrong boss. Wrong eyeball, puffball boss guy.
And it looks like Darity is going to finish with North Dark World and then just hop across to Catfish and then Zora area.
Yeah.
Which will, among other things, see her pick up that 4th Turtle Rock key.
Yep.
And then is there anything left for her to do beyond Turtle Rock?
Hera Big Chest.
Yeah. She has been very thorough with things. And fairly good this race about just doing areas entirely at once. Not going into an area until she can full clear it, and then when she does full clear it, or when she does have that chance, getting everything.
Mm-hmm.
Really minimizing the backtracking where possible.
And there's Udai picking up that Meyer big key. Gonna pick up the Cane to follow. And this is indeed going to be left side. No, yeah, yep. So Udai will pick up that Tempered Sword as well.
Yep. There's an argument for like doing the back of Swamp Palace here first because you're 2 items from go mode. Those being Cane and Turtle Rock Big Key, but then you're probably going back in after anyways. So
yeah,
if you're expecting that you'll have to go back in, you do just want to do it all first.
Yeah. Also worth noting, Udai did not bomb Diver down, which does lose a bit of time compared to Darity. I feel that if you're not comfortable with bomb Diver down, then maybe going into the back and just trying to find your go mode items on the way and skip left side is more worthwhile.
Yeah, or just don't bother trying to Diver down. The real scary part of bomb Diver down is if you spend all your time doing it, and either get yourself too low on health or too low on bombs, and then weaken yourself, and then still have to go back through.
Mm-hmm.
Shoutouts to Penny Royal Oil and the hookshot strat on the left side there that saves you no time and can wreck your day if you get it wrong. It's really funny when someone gets it wrong.
Mm-hmm. I also really like that Darity is going into Tower of Hera to check that big key chest before trying to YOLO some Turtle Rock here. Just gives yourself... Be very thorough with it.
Yeah, and there's not much of a worse feeling than going through half of Turtle Rock and then leaving to go to Hera and get your big key.
Yep, and then have to go through the exact same half of Turtle Rock again. Alright. So I think at this point it's pretty much guaranteed to be Turtle Rock Big Key in Turtle Rock.
Unless you and Darity and me and all of chat have forgotten something collectively. Like, you know, the elusive Cave 63 that no one ever goes to.
Oh yes, Cave 63.
Yeah.
A little bit higher than Cave 42, which has the answer to the world, the universe, and everything. For clarification, there is no Cave 63.
Oh, there probably is. Because Cave 45 just got that name from its spot on a map, that like an old Link to the Past map, so. And those numbers go up into the 70s or 80s, so it's got to be
okay.
63.
Darity having second thoughts about Turtle Rock? Pyramid Fairy first. Okay.
Okay, I get it. I see it.
Yeah. Does lose you the extra mountain climb. Yeah. Leaving Turtle Rock to check Pyramid Fairy now is a guaranteed time loss for Darity. Although, obviously, running through Turtle Rock and not finding the big key, and then finding it in Pyramid Fairy and coming back would be an even bigger time loss. So,
yeah, but you're up there. You're up there already. You're in the dungeon.
opens the door a little bit for Udai to come back. Udai just needs to clear Misery Mire. There are a couple outstanding checks that Udai has. Udai did already do Pyramid Fairy, hasn't checked the pedestal yet, nor the Hera big chest, obviously.
Yeah. It would require him to be pretty aggressive about going to Turtle Rock, which he might feel up to. But see, he's definitely, I think, gonna check the big chest here in Mire, and even with that, unless Darity's forgotten some other stuff that we've also forgotten about, Darity is going to be the first one to Turtle Rock.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, it's also interesting to try to think about if you were in the race in this perspective, just with how it's going. You know that the flippers were in Eastern Palace, which you tried to check at the beginning of the game and didn't, so you got to be wondering if the opponent did that. You know that you had the boots on the Bowlock side of Palace of Darkness, which weren't technically in logic until you found a bow, but makes you worry. So at this point, Darity might feel the need to be thorough and bet on Udai not checking Pyramid Fairy in order to feel that she has a better chance.
Yeah. Hey, you know what chat's mentioning that we haven't seen is the right side of Desert, which is a red crystal dungeon. And since that small key is required for GT, we're probably going to see that small key pretty soon. And
that's true.
It would be nasty of the game to be like, yep, dip into Turtle Rock, get that small key, go back.
Man, that would be one of very few plays in which stealing a key from Desert pays off.
Would it, though? Still have to go back after.
Yeah, but then you'd have the Turtle Rock big key early, so you'd be able to single dip this dungeon.
Yeah, and I'd rather single dip TR than Desert, given the choice. Yeah.
Mire, Hyrule
Castle.
Castle.
So that's what puts our desert big key in logic, finally.
That is true.
You know, that thing that you and I sequence broke in the first couple minutes of the game.
Well, what is desert if not just a large series of sequence breaks?
A miserable pile of No.
Oh
There we
no,
are.
there's our desert small. Okay.
So you could bail on the dungeon right there to go check desert, but I would not. I would just keep going through. You're in the dungeon. Checking the other stuff is not that slow.
I wouldn't either. I feel that if you were gonna bail, the time to do that would have been when you decided to bail to check Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah.
Oh! Okay,
There we
there
are.
it is. French
Right in
Vanilla
Chomp's
Turtle
Way.
Rock Big Key. There we go. So we are in go mode with the exception of silvers, so we might see a couple more
we're in
chests
go mode.
checked along the way. More importantly, we are in go mode.
I mean, you know how it is. Ganon's gonna say, "Did you find the silvers in my tower?" And we're all gonna say, "No, you jerk," because I don't check things when I didn't check anything in the tower.
Yeah, clearly the silvers were in the Ganon Tower or Big Chest. Or maybe the silvers were the thing that was on right side Desert Palace. Which would have given you a bow pretty early. Anyway.
If you had stolen that, now that would be interesting. Steal the key, get the early bow. I don't think it changes too much, but it'd be interesting.
Mm-hmm. They're already like, oh yeah, I don't have to hit that crystal. I'm in go mode.
All right, Yuda, just go to TR, and you won't be too far behind.
Udai also checking the pedestal.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it's a totally reasonable call. You want to be very thorough before going into Turtle Rock and committing to that mountain climb.
Yeah, it all depends on how you think you're doing. If you think you're, well, it's a combination of how you think you're doing. If you think you're behind, you want to do the outside play, and if you think you're ahead, you want to just be aggressive and go for it. Plus, then combine that with some wine in front of me logic from Princess Bride, and what sort of opponent is your opponent? Are they the type to just be aggressive or make the outside play? What do they think the outside play is?
But hey, we got to see the entire cutscene twice. Both of them didn't just read the tablet, they just committed hardcore to it.
Thanks, folks. That's so nice. Appreciate it.
Alright, nice Trinex kill on Darity's side. And we are just a GT climb away before taking down that pig. So we can't do against our Big Key guessing game, though I guess we can do a guessing game of what chests is Darity going to open. Will it be Hope Room? Will it be just the climb? Will it be nothing? Will it be just Validation chest? Will it be any of Dark Magician's room, potentially taking a 40-second time loss to get 5 additional items, one of which could be the silvers?
Yeah, that one. You know, silver saved you 45 seconds, so... Well, 40. More if you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, Yuda never came back to check. Yeah. Huh.
Yep, and Udai also doing what Darity did, remembering that the Hera Big Chest is a thing that exists. And the big key chest is also a thing that exists. Unfortunate.
Yo, nice G3 on Darity's side. When I go down the left side like that, all the enemies run away from me and just scoot off to the top. So, nicely done.
Yeah. Alright, taking the magic before this landmost fight. Taking the fairy there does mean that these landmos spawn a little bit sooner. Which groups them
just
up.
means you can get tempered spins.
Yep, groups them up nicely for the tempered spin strat. Ooh, just missed that cycle there. Nice kill in the second Mimic's room. Or second Wizard's room. They're not Mimics.
Oh man, we patched out Jingle's Lich. It's fine. It's fine. There's still the opportunity for runners to accidentally mirror at the top of the tower, so it's fine.
Ooh. Darity is checking nothing. Not even giving those two chests a second look.
Nah, I wouldn't either. Oh, she's not even going for that quick one there.
Oh.
There is the Moldorm drop. Moldorm getting his revenge from that first fight where Darity was basically flying to avoid falling.
Thought you could hover past me, did you? To be fair, yes, you can hover past Moldorm. Moldorm is right. Doesn't check validation chest. Well, I'm ready to get the information that the silvers were on right side Desert Palace anyway.
Ah,
that
dang,
one only registered as 2.
I hate when they line up so nicely and then the timing says, no, you only got 1 hit here.
Yeah. Yeah, if they would have counted as separate hits, then that would have been able to save a cycle there. But still very fast 4-cycle Aghanim.
Not a bad fight overall. Hey, we never saw half magic. It was probably also in GT.
Mm-hmm. That was the other thing on the left side, or on the right side of desert. The other thing that was left behind in desert. How about that?
There's the blue potion for Darity that we were pretty sure she had. Otherwise, she wouldn't be caping so aggressively.
Yeah. I think Udai no longer has a blue potion, but
I think he probably bought one again. He's been heading back to the witch's hut a lot. Look, the arrows in my tower.
Yep, they were in Ganon's tower all along.
The real Ganon's tower was the arrows we made along the way.
So 10 more spins away from beating this pig and ending his reign of terror once and for all.
Well, until the next time you generate a seed. He just keeps coming back.
To be fair, his reign of tower isn't exactly doing too much. Just chilling.
Yeah, just sits in the pyramid. He starts the race so close to the Triforce, and you still beat him to it. I don't understand how.
Yep. There was a nice triple on Darity's side. Almost gets it again.
Must be almost there. I stopped counting. We must be almost there. There we are.
Alright.
As Ganon explodes,
Yep.
Udai collects his last crystal, about to head into the tower. But Darity is going to take this race.
Yep. So get your GGs in chat for deritypeels, taking this race just north of 2 hours for a fantastic time for Fad Keys.
Official time of 2 hours, 0, count them, 0 minutes, and 27 seconds.
Cool. So we are now joined by Darity, the winner of the race. GG Darity, congratulations.
Hello, GG's, thank you.
Yeah. So how did you feel about that one?
Well, knowing the result, I feel better, but I definitely felt behind there at the end. My decision to go check Pyramid Fairy before like committing to TR felt super bad. But it worked out, I guess. So, GG's to you, Day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there were a bunch of things that happened in the seed. Both of you ended up trying to go to the vanilla big key chest of Eastern Palace with only 3 hearts, and neither of you was able to succeed in doing it. So you ended up being the first one to the flippers about an hour or so in. How did you feel upon picking those up?
So, well, the first time I went into Eastern, I stopped at the compass chest because I really kind of felt bad about being in Eastern. I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. So when I got the flippers, it was definitely like oh no, like, you know, he definitely could have gotten that a while ago. But, I mean, I didn't, honestly, that didn't feel too terrible. I think I went to Swamp right after that, and there wasn't really anything in the flippers checks, so that made it feel even better after I did follow him. So.
Yeah, we didn't actually see those flippers being too great until Swamp came in, and we did see Udai sink a fair amount of time into almost checking Zora at the start. Before he had, I think, 493 rupees outside the Zora area before Ega Tower, and it was fantastic that he didn't.
Indeed.
It looks like he's forfeit from the race and is chilling at the entrance. I think some sort of glitch happened as well. And there he is with us.
Bringing him in. GG Udai.
GG.
Yeah.
GG.
Well, that was something.
Yeah, that was something. A big advantage that you had relatively early on was when, after both of you had beaten Aghanim and went into Palace of Darkness, where progression pretty much had to be at that point, you decided to use the potion glitch to get to the bowlock chests on the right side, which got you the boots about half an hour in, and I think Darity didn't end up getting those for another 40 minutes or so.
Yeah, that feels rough because, like, given the split, I should be doing a little better than that with that kind of time difference, but it happens. I mean, fad keys, you kind of expect that. You're going to get womboed in one way or another.
That's
Or
so funny.
5
I
days.
didn't even realize, like, yeah, of course I had a potion. Like, I did not even think about it. I was just like, la la la, I have 3 keys. I'm supposed to be here. Oh, look, these are the things I'm supposed to have. Bye. Like, I did not even think. That's so funny. And so even when I got the boots, like, I didn't even feel bad about it because I had, like, nope, not even in my mind that I had a bottle I could have used for that. Whoops.
Mm.
At the end of the day, though, I can feel good about having a couple bufferless jumps.
Yeah, the second try on the hammer jump the last time going around it, that was awesome.
The little
Nice.
Pyrrhic victories, you know? But no, all around, this was a fun one. Definitely a tense kind of seed because you really there's like 6 different ways that an opponent could potentially like find something way sooner than you. I think I might have caught a couple words you guys talking about, like, you know, the flippers, and that one that was a little scary to get that late. But you already had to do a bunch of double and even triple dips, so I didn't feel like it was going to be that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it ended up being a pretty linear seed, and both of you ended up following the line pretty much back to back. Darity had decided to go up the mountain before checking Misery Mire, and that's what led to the Eastern Palace Big Key, which led to the Swamp, which led to Swamp Palace, which led to the Cane, and the Big Key to Misery Mire, which led Darity to be able to full clear Mire on the first go around, as opposed to having to dive and come back to it later.
I would say Mire was probably the part I felt worst about.
Yeah, it also made routing Pod and Eastern together a bit nicer, because then you're able to clear a bit more in Pod at the same time that you're able to finish Eastern. And then once Darity had found the Palace of Darkness Big Key, she made a very heads-up play of taking the green pendant from Misery Mire to Sahasrara before going in.
Right. No, I mean, when I found that bow, that really did feel like a good moment because, you know, having found those boots so much earlier, I mean, potion camera unlock isn't exactly like unknown or anything, but you weren't exactly set up with a lot of good opportunities there to have a potion. Like, even if you had them from the bottles, like, we were low health for most of the first half of the seed. There's a lot of situations where you might have used one. So, I mean, I felt like my chances are pretty good on that front. My instincts weren't bad there, but in the rest of the seed, maybe. That's okay. I mean, that's and I know Darity plays a lot, so it's, you know, I don't feel so bad taking the loss to Darity. I may feel a little sleepy tired after that one though.
Understandable. You both played great, and really it was a very thrilling and a very close race too. One other thing that we were speculating about was it got to the point where both of you were essentially looking for the Turtle Rock Big Key, but Darity also needed the Ganon's Tower Big Key, which you had found earlier by checking the North Dark World things. So we were wondering if it would be a little while before Darity decides to do King's Tube, even though it's right there. You have to make just like a little bit of investment for that, and if it gets to the point where like the Ganon's Tower basement is available, could lead to a potentially dicey situation.
Yeah, I felt really good about that, and I mean, like the TR Big Key, I just needed to dive into TR sooner. I definitely didn't need to stop at Hera first, but you know, the whole saving a portal thing, I was just feeling leery about that whole setup. Being that, you know, there's no good way to do that.
Saving a portal is a trap 100% of the time.
Yeah,
like every so often it works, but even when it works, it's still a trap. Just think of it as a trap, and you won't try to do it.
Yeah, because I would have needed to use the Spiral Cave entrance for that, and it wasn't going to be fun. But yeah, so I mean, yeah, the tables may have turned on that one, but that's okay. Also, I want to clarify, when I said the little line about sleepy tired, that's a pun. My opponent today, her name backwards. I don't know if anybody have made that connection.
Oh my goodness!
It's pretty cool.
I found that out yesterday.
My goodness.
Just want to make a point to say that on air.
I was today years old when I learned that, and I can't believe no one in chat taught me about that today. Dang it, chat! Why aren't you helping me?
Well, obviously, you got to keep an eye out for her. Obviously, Zelda and Chill is a contender in this, in this conference, and two of us can get out, right?
I hear that Zelda and Chill is now tied for first place in our division.
Yeah.
I may have dropped the ball on the clear berth on that one, but that's okay.
No, I mean we're tied for first after 2 weeks. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. You might need some icy hot for your back, though.
Yep. No undefeated teams in the Thievestown division, so it's a very competitive division indeed.
More serious note, though. Thank you guys for putting on the restream. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much.
The big shout out goes to Oro, who was able to step up and do that restream for us. Because it's easy to find people to talk. It's hard to find people with the hardware set up. So thank you so much to them for making that happen.
And thank you to Scupula as well for being our tracker today.
The other great thing Oro did was they told me, hey, we're switching restreamers after this race. There will be a bit of a break, folks, but don't go anywhere. Like, grab your coffee and then come back. At about 9:40, which is in 20-ish minutes, pick up Patrol and a deadly case of explosions, or if you don't know the team names, Algoti and Josh Bittner are fighting. Same mode, right here in 18 minutes. So stick around.
Oh man, that's my division.
Ah! Exciting.
Well, hope you all enjoy. Thank you for a very fantastic and entertaining race. Thank you very much, Phyleon, for co-commentating with me, and get ready for some more rando coming very soon.
Thanks again, folks. GG, Darity.
GG, Udai. Thanks, guys.
Play more video games.
Bye.